Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to talk about The Division because the second beta is out. It's here. I've gotten to play it. I've ranked up all the way to 8 already. I've been in the Dark Zone unlocking high level gear, testing out all aspects of the game. And I want to talk about some of the things I like and some of the things that I'm still a little bit concerned about. One of the things I really like is a new mission called Subway Morgue. I'm going to do a video that focuses on that a little bit more later. But the mission and environmental detail in this game is amazing. Very, very immersive. At creating this environment that's believable yet horrifying at the same time. I think that's part of why it's so scary, is that you're looking at it thinking like, yeah, I could see this as being a real possibility for a dystopian future situation. So the one new mission that they give you in this version of the beta is pretty cool, but a lot of the changes are balance changes for the Dark Zone, bug fixes, and general sort of gameplay tweaks to respond to basically criticisms of the original beta. Many of the criticisms had to do with the Dark Zone itself. So the Dark Zone has different new high-end weapons now. The refresh rates for chests are greater. Non-player enemies in the Dark Zone have basically become a lot stronger. There's more in number, they spawn more, and they're harder to play, as I was killed by NPCs much more frequently in the Dark Zone this time, because you think, oh yeah, I can take on these guys, and then all of a sudden they're super accurate, very, very fast to shoot you when you peek around corners. It's not easy to take out equivalent level elites or one level higher than you elites in this game. You really have to plan it out, or more importantly, play with teammates who can draw aggro while you put down fire, and then when they draw aggro, you put down fire, because they will kill you incredibly fast. That being said, a decently skilled group of 4 players should be able to handle most groups of NPCs within a reasonable level range without too much trouble. It's just going to be more challenging. You're going to have to be more careful this time around, but I feel once people adapt to the new skill level required, then it won't be hard to kind of come up with a system to relatively easily defeat the NPCs. Now, despite the NPC situation getting a lot better in the Dark Zone, more of them to kill, more of them to farm, being more challenging in general, all of that is good. Most of the complaints of the Dark Zone were about the PvP system, going rogue. Because the Dark Zone is the only place in the game where you can engage in PvP activities, it seems to be something that a lot of players would want to do when they go to the Dark Zone. However, should you choose to engage another player in the Dark Zone, both in the early beta and the current beta, you go into rogue status, which is your player gets a red skull over their head, and you're marked for everyone on the map to see basically who's around you. It'll show them exactly where you are, even through walls, so it's like wall hacks, and it'll say, hey, this guy is a dangerous player, and you are free to engage them and kill them without suffering any sort of consequence. The only problem with this system is that, 1, wall hacks are pretty OP in this game, and 2, if a rogue agent has to defend themselves against other agents trying to kill them, rightfully so, as they're allowed to attack rogue agents, that rogue agent's timer is just going to increase. So even in a self-defense situation, after you engage a non-lethal target, your timer is going to go up. So it's basically saying, hey, you engaged one player, but if a bunch of other players decide to engage you after that, you are going to be punished even further for it. And that part of the system I really don't like. Not only is it a massive detriment for trying to have some PvP fun, but it also makes it incredibly difficult as a solo player or playing with one other player to try and engage in PvP activities. You are almost always going to get ganked by a large party of players before your rogue status goes away, because it's too easy to find you once you go rogue. Everybody's kind of lured to your position, and they have wall hacks so they can see where you are all the time. And usually they have the numbers on you. Plus, if you defend yourself, your timer is going to go up, further reducing your chances of surviving the rogue status. And the one change that they made to this system is something that only affects those that engage a crap load of other players in PvP. If you go to a manhunt status, which I believe is killing 5 or more players, your timer will max out and you will be designated as manhunt, alerting everybody in the entire map to your location, making it very hard to survive. And the one concession Ubisoft made to the manhunt status is that if somebody engages you or you're engaging other players while you're in manhunt status, rather than your timer going up, it'll just pause while you're in combat. So you have a chance of your timer actually ticking all the way down and surviving the manhunt. But if you don't go manhunt, then your timer's just going to go up, basically until you get into a manhunt mode. So this consolation that Ubisoft has made really only helps people who are willing to go balls out and need to have a party of 4 to do, because I can't imagine surviving a manhunt status playing solo or with 2 players, or even really 3 players. I think you need a party of 4. You need all the benefits you can take to try and survive manhunt. So as it stands right now, if you're not in a party of 4 people, PvP is kind of gonna suck for you. You have to gank players. You're never going to be in a stand-up firefight. You have to kill somebody who's unsuspecting, take their loot if they have any, and then run as fast as you can into a subway or around the map, and try not to engage people for like over a minute, because you get a pretty long timer. It's very hard to do, and if people start shooting at you while you're running away from them, it'll pause your timer, because technically you're in combat. Even if bullets are flying over your head as you're running away and not returning fire, your timer will not go down, and it's totally ridiculous. And I think it just hurts the fact that this is the only place in the game that we can have PvP, and it's only fun or even plausible if you have a full party of 4. And if you don't have a full party of 4, then it's incredibly difficult and unrewarding. I mean, you're going to get more experience and rank up more Dark Zone points just by farming NPCs playing solo than you ever will trying to fight other players, no matter how good of a player you are. I think a lot of people were expecting the Dark Zone to be more of a DayZ or H1Z1 environment where you just had to be on alert at all times. You didn't know if somebody was going to be hostile or nice to you. And that was kind of the fun of it, and Ubisoft had the opportunity to do that with the Dark Zone, and then they chose to implement all these weird rules to make sure that everybody had a fun and fair time, and they just missed out on creating a potentially awesome type of environment that could have been existed within the world of Division. And instead we have this weird system with gimmicky rules where it's causing a lot of players to try and bait people into going rogue, where they'll shoot you once in the foot and you'll be like, hey, why'd you do that? And then you shoot them a lot and you go rogue. Or they'll run in front of you while you're engaging NPCs and your bullets will hit them, and then you'll go rogue and they'll turn around and kill you without suffering any punishment for it. So it's just created all these horrible rules that are weird and don't reflect some sort of anarchist PvP environment like the other more pure PvP style games like this do. So I think it really sucks. I think Ubisoft should really consider changing up the format of the Dark Zone to be more fun, because at the moment I just see it as being a huge exploit zone at the moment. There's too many ways to exploit the system to ruin it, and it's just not fun. And I do apologize for ranting on about the Dark Zone aspect of the Division. I actually am still really looking forward to playing this game, because I think the PvE element of it is actually really fun and really solid so far. I just feel like this game is designed for people who want a PvE, and the PvP aspect is just kind of broken. It's flawed in my opinion, and I think it needs to be overhauled significantly. I've made suggestions in previous videos for what Ubisoft should do, but I'm not sure if they've got the balls really to do what it takes to actually make the Dark Zone fun and actually a good PvP environment. Anyway, those are my current thoughts. I still think this is a very good game to play with friends, and if you're going to do PvP, having a party of 4 is the only thing that makes it even moderately worthwhile. Anything less than that, and I think you're kind of wasting your time. Stay tuned for more Division content, and as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.